Hello everyone, welcome to Level Up Tech. In our previous session, we have seen about Google Storage Bucket, why we need Google Storage Bucket and when to use Google Storage Bucket. And also we have seen couple of things which is related to setting up the Google Storage Bucket and creating the service account and generating the JSON key file for the service account, right? And also we have seen how to upload the file from our local to the Google storage bucket. Also, we have seen these activities right in our previous session, which is Google Cloud Scope, which is the prerequisite activity in order to work with Google Cloud Platform. And Get Bucket is used to retrieve the information about the bucket details and upload object from file, as we already know, like it is used to upload the file from our local or from any other storage place to GCP. So these three activities we have seen in our previous session. So for this particular session, we are targeting these activities: get object, copy object, delete, and download object to file for each object in bucket. Okay, so let's get started one by one. Let's start with this get object. Okay, now I'm going to UiPath Studio, and here are the activities which would be available under Google Cloud Scope, and we are targeting for storage buckets. So whatever activity that we are going to use, that would be available under storage and buckets. Okay, so here, as we already know, this bucket get bucket is used to get the information about a specific bucket. Whatever bucket name that we are going to provide over here, we would be getting all those information which is related to that particular bucket. Okay, for now, so we wanted to see about this get object, right? So what I did, I have dragged this get object activity into my workspace. So what this get object does, as you can see in the description, what it does, it retrieves the details of the specified object. Similar to get bucket, this also retrieves the information about the object, not about the bucket. So when I say object, here it is nothing but the file, whatever file that is available in the storage bucket. See, this is one file. In other terms, it is called as object. So basically, this get object is used to retrieve the information about this particular object. So when I say information, what are all the information that it is going to retrieve? It is going to retrieve you the size, created date, and the storage class, last modified date, and whatever information that is available for this particular object. All those informations we would be able to retrieve using this get object. Okay, and what are all the things it is expecting here? It is expecting the bucket related information. And this bucket, what is the data type? The data type is GCP bucket. And as we already know, where we would be getting that data type GCP bucket, we would be getting in get bucket output. See, in get bucket activity as a output, the data type is nothing but GCP bucket, and the same thing is expected in get object. So we are passing that GCP bucket variable over here, and here it is expecting the object name. So we have seen this object name also somewhere else, right? When we were using upload object from file, at the time we have given the object name, that is nothing but the file name. Just now we have seen, so this is the object name. So we have to provide this object name so that UiPath would be able to retrieve all the information which is related to this particular object. Okay, so for that I have given the object name over here, and this is going to produce some output. It should return, right? Because in get bucket we are retrieving, and here in get object also we are retrieving some information. If we retrieve some information, then absolutely it should be getting stored somewhere. Where it will get stored, the object type is nothing but GCP object. For get bucket, the data type is GCP bucket, and for get object, the data type is GCP object. So I have created a variable called as GCP as a prefix, and then object underscore object. So this is the variable which is going to have all the information which is related to our object. Okay, so now I'm going to run the bot in debug mode, and let's see what are all the information that is getting stored in this variable, that is nothing but the GCP object. Okay, now it hit at the breakpoint. Now I'm going to click on step into. Once I do that, see, this is the variable which we have created, and let me hit this edit icon and let me maximize it. And what are all the information it has? It has the bucket name, that is in this particular bucket only we have uploaded that particular object, right? So it has that information, the bucket name information, and when that particular object was created. So as you can see, it was created 2nd of June 2024 at 1:1, that is 13:1. So let's validate that. If I go over here, you can see the created date is not showing us June 2, 2024, 1:1:23 p.m. And the same thing is being reflected over here also. This and the last modified date it has, and if I go over here, you can see the last modified date 1:1:23, and the same information is being populated over here as well. And it is showing some link. So basically this particular hyperlink, if I click this particular hyperlink, you can see on the top we are getting 1234556.pdf, and the same thing is being reflected over here as well. Okay, and there are some other information that is nothing but the object name information. So this is what we have passed as input, so there is no surprise on being returned of this particular value. Okay, and we have self link. So using this particular link, what we can do, we can directly download the file. If we have this particular link available, then we can go to the browser and I can open a new tab, and if I hit enter, I would be able to see all the information which is related to it. And even sometime if I'm authorized, right, then I would be able to download the file itself. Okay, so as you can see here also, you can see the same URL whatever I have just dropped in the URL place. Okay, if I hit on this, you can see it will initiate the downloading of the file, and here we go. Okay, so by this we can download the file. So using that particular link, we would be able to download the file. And last but not the least, we have the file size, information about the file size. So here you can see it is around roughly 975.7 KB, and the same thing 99, which is roughly okay. And the storage class here, it was mentioned as standard, and you can see the same thing over here that is mentioned as standard. Okay, so using this get object, we would be able to retrieve all these information. Okay, and you might get a question, using this particular activity, what are we going to do? Just retrieving the information, it is not going to help anywhere, right? Let's consider this particular scenario. Okay, now whatever file, let's say some other bot has already uploaded the information, uploaded the file into the storage bucket. Okay, now you have to build a bot where that bot should download all these files, and it should send it to the target application. It can be any application, it can be a web application or it can be any other application. Okay, but your bot's functionality is to get all the files one by one. It has to download and it has to push it to the other application. Okay, so that's what your bot has to do. So how we can do that? Just what you have is, you have only the file names. Just with that, what are all the things that we can do, whether we would be able to achieve our use case scenario or not. Okay, let's see that. So if you have the information about this get object, so now we have all the information about that particular file, correct? And we can see something called as download object to file. What this does, if you provide the object information, then UiPath will download that particular object to your local. Okay, and just I'm dragging this particular activity over here, and here it is expecting us to provide some info. And what it is exactly expecting? It is expecting GCP object, the data type, the appropriate data type. It is expecting us GCP object. And the similar thing we have just stored earlier, right? So what I can do, if I want to download that particular file which is available in my storage bucket, then I can directly use this particular activity, and inside in it as a input I can give the all the information about that particular file or that particular object. Okay, so now job done. So now whatever the object that we have given over here, that particular object will be getting downloaded to our local, right? But that has to be stored somewhere in our local. So we have to help UiPath with providing the file path and then the file name. So basically we have to give file name and then where in which folder it has to be downloaded. Okay, so those information we have to provide. Where we can provide in the property panel of GCP download object, that is to this particular activity. Here, if we go to the property panel, here we have file name. Here I am going to give something like demo12345 6.pdf. What if I not if I'm not giving some file name something like this, what will happen? In that case, in the description, you can see if missing, the object name will be used. If we have missed to give the file name, what it does, it will use the same object name, whatever object name that is available in the bucket, right? That particular name will be used. In that particular name only the file will be getting downloaded. But now I am instructing UiPath to download with this particular file name. Now this is done, and we have to give in which folder this particular file need has to be downloaded. Correct. So for that I am going to my project tab, and here I'm giving this project folder path, and as it is a string data type, I'm providing within double quotes. You can see the data type, which is the expected one. And I have given the folder path as well. Okay. And now I'm going to run the bot. Let's validate whether the file is getting downloaded or not once the bot run gets completed. Okay. And here we go. Now the execution got completed. Let me jump into my project folder quickly, and you can see we do have one file, that is demo12345 6.pdf, which got created around 17:18, the time you can see. And let me open this particular file, and the same file, whatever file that we have uploaded to our storage bucket, the same file has been downloaded as well. Okay, so this is how we can download the file from the storage bucket using this particular activity, download object to file. Okay, so now we are done with two activities. One is download object to file, and the other one is get object. And we do have three more activities. Okay, so for that, what we will do, we will first get started with delete object activity. Okay, and for all these activities, the activities which are ending with the name object, for all these activities, we would be needing this as a prerequisite, because over here only we would be getting the output as GCP object, the data type. So these particular activities will expect that particular data type only. So this particular activity should be there. Okay, and here what I'm going to do, I'm just providing the GCP object variable that we have created earlier. And let me delete this particular thing. And if I run my bot now, as you can see, now we do have the file over here. Okay, once the bot run gets completed, let's validate over here whether we would be still having the file or not. Okay, and now you can see the execution got completed without any issues. Now let me jump into my storage bucket, and let me click on refresh. And as you can see, there is no rows to display, which means we were able to successfully delete that particular file using our UI path itself. Okay. So this is all about delete object activity. And now let's see this copy object. What this copy object does, copies an object to another bucket. Means if you have two bucket, okay, and if you want to migrate all your data from one bucket to another bucket, or if you want to move specific object from one bucket to another bucket, then you can use this particular activity. Again, for this also we would need this particular get object proper activity, because this is also expecting the GCP object thing. Okay, so here I am giving GCP object where this will be my source. But before that, what I will do, just I will go one step back, because now we don't have any more file in level up tech prod. Let me check whether do I have anything here or not. As you can see, we have some file here in 12345.jpg, right? And let me, what we are going to do is whatever file that we have in this UAT bucket, I'm going to copy that particular file to my prod bucket. Let's see how we can do that. Okay, so for that, we have to give the object name first, because this is our object name. So I'm going to provide that particular object name, replacing with this. Now this is done. What is next? GCP bug object information we have given, and here it is expecting to provide the destination bucket detail. Okay, what is the source here then? So this is our destination. As we have already seen, we are going to migrate the file. That is, we are going to copy the file from this UAT bucket to this prod bucket. So UAT bucket is the source for us and prod bucket is the destination for us. Okay. Now we have the destination bucket already. And if we want to get the information about source bucket, then we have to use one more get bucket activity, and there I'm going to give the bucket name as level up tech UAT. I hope that is our, yeah, level up bucket UAT. Okay, let's copy this instead of typing, and let me delete this and let me the copied one over here. So this is going to be our source, and here let me create a variable GCP source bucket. Now we do have the information about our source bucket. Okay, and here I'm going to provide the destination bucket information. That is nothing but we have already created something called as GCP bucket. That information I'm passing, and the destination object name. Already our object name is something like this 12345.jpg. What here it is asking to provide us the destination object name. If suppose if you want to change this particular object name to something like this 1234567.jpg, you can do that. So okay, it is not necessary it should be in the same name. Okay, so it can be different as well. Okay, now this is also done. Now what I'm going to do, let me run the bot quickly and let's jump into here. Okay, and in level up tech prod, as we already know, we don't have any files at all over here, and we can still don't see any file over here. Let the bot get complete, post which we will validate the information over here. And here we are getting some information which is related to get object. That is completely fine. Okay, perfect. Why we are getting error? Because we are passing the destination bucket information over here instead of the source bucket detail. So let me get rid of this, and here in get bucket, so this is our source, right? So this particular information we have to pass, because in our destination we don't have any files at all, correct? So let's run the bot now and let's quickly validate whether we are going to get the same error again or not. We shouldn't be getting, but anyhow, let's validate. And as you can see, now everything got completed, including the copy object as well. Now I'm in my console. Let's refresh this particular screen. And as you can see, we have the file that is 1234567.jpg, which was created around 5:25 and the same time. It is the same system time we do have. So by this, we can say this is how we would be able to copy the file from one object, one bucket to the another bucket. So now we are done with all the activities except this for each object in bucket. Okay, so what is the use of this particular thing? As the name suggests, for each, which means it is going to run as a loop. So how many files that you have in your bucket, that is how many objects that you have in your bucket, that many time this is going to run. And inside in it you can have any one of the activity. Let's say, let's try using this download object to file itself, or else we can also try using upload object from file. Okay, but I prefer for this particular session, I would prefer to go with a download object to file, but anyways you can try with upload object from file as well. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let's delete all the other activities. I have deleted all the other activities. Now I'm going to use this UAT bucket. Okay, and here I'm going to drag this particular activity for each object in bucket. Okay, and here this GCP object is a temporary variable that you would be not able to see over here. This is different and this naming is different. This is a permanent variable, whereas this is a temporary variable. Like when we use Excel, that time we would be getting something like current row, right? So similar to that, we are dealing with objects. So this is a temporary variable that we are getting. And here it is expecting us to provide the bucket information, and which variable holds the information about our bucket. So this is the variable which holds the information our bucket. So I have given that also over here. Now what is next? As discussed, I'm going to download all the files from that particular bucket. Okay, now let me go to this bucket, that is level up bucket UAT. Okay, and now you can see there is only one file. What I'm going to do, let me upload one more file over here. How we can do that manually? I can use upload files action, and just I'm going to upload these two JSON files into my bucket, that is to the level up the UAT bucket. Now you can see the pop-up, two files successfully uploaded, and you can see the same name. Okay, and now I'm going to UiPath, and what we are going to do, we are going to download the file just now we have uploaded. So basically files in our bucket, UAT bucket, all those three files we are going to download. Let's see how we can download that. Okay, for that, here what it is expecting, it is expecting us to provide the object information. Okay, and here what I'm going to do, you don't need to have anything like get object. Instead I can pass GCP object variable, because this GCP object, again it is a GCP object data type only. Okay, so I can directly pass that over here, and you can see there is no errors at all. And here I'm not going to provide any default file name. If I provide file name, in that particular file name only all my files will be getting downloaded. I have three files with two different extensions. One is of JPEG and the other two is of JSON. If I give hard coded value over here, then it would impact. Okay, and I would be not able to extract the correct information inside that particular file. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to provide the file name. Just what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide the folder path alone. So I'm instructing UiPath to download all the files which is available in that particular bucket to this particular folder. As you can see, except these files, we don't have anything else, correct? So now what I'm going to do, let me give the folder path over here, job done. And I'm going to put a breakpoint over here so that at runtime I can show you how it is getting downloaded. Okay, and the bot is running now. Let's validate the results. And here we go. The bot hit at the breakpoint, and I'm going to hit on step into. And as you can see, it got succeeded, correct? Let's see whether any file has been downloaded or not. And if I go over here, you can see we have one file that is 12345.jpg and which was downloaded 1730, and you can see the timing, system timing as well. Okay, and similarly, let me do step into one more time, and it will go over here, and what it is going to download. In GCP object, you will be having all the information, right? Here you can see the bucket name is level up bucket UAT and what file it is going to download now. You can see that particular information over here. That is nothing but at the end it has 2273.json. This is that particular file. Now the bot is going to download. Okay, let's validate. I have hit that step into. If I go over here, I should be seeing something like 2273.json, and we can see that over here. And let me do step into one more time so that it is going to download the third file for us, and it has downloaded. And if I do step into, we don't have any more files, so it is coming out of this particular loop. So basically this for each will run how many objects that is available in your bucket, that many times this loop is going to run, and whatever actions that you are going to place inside that particular loop, that will be getting executed that many times. And here we go. We have all the three files which was there in our UAT bucket, and we were able to download it to our local. Okay. And here you have something like overwrite option. You can enable this as well. If you enable this, if you are downloading the same file again, just it will overwrite the files over here in our local. That is this particular option, overwrite. Okay, so that's all about the activities which is available in Google storage bucket. Okay, so we have seen all the activities that we are expected to do. Okay, and we have covered all the activities. Maybe you guys can give it a try and let me know if you guys are facing any issues while doing this. Thank you for watching this video, and happy automation, guys.